If you guys need help gearing up for the Cunning Stunts DLC, check out G2A with the link in the description. They've got the cheapest shark cards you can find anywhere. It's also what I'm using to do my $3.5 million shark card giveaway going on my Twitter account right now. I'll leave that link in the description too. I'm giving away $3.5 million to one lucky person in Grand Theft Auto Online to help them with the Cunning Stunts DLC content. And that is going to be going on for about 24 more hours by the time you're likely watching this video. So I'll leave both those links in the description. Be sure to check them out. But with out of the way, let's not waste any more time and let's jump straight into today's Q&A video, which is all about the Cunning Stunts DLC. We've got a ton of questions, so grab a popcorn, grab a soda, or whatever you got, because this is going to be a long one, and we're going to be tackling all your questions related to this DLC. So let's jump into the first question today, which comes from Nabil, who tweets at me, "What do you think the best car will be in the Cunning Stunts DLC? Hashtag AskBoss." So that's obviously a tricky question because the only thing we know so far is maybe the category they're going to be in, also a little bit of their looks and how they might perform based on previous vehicles in the game. I think there's going to be a lot of cars in this update that will definitely compete in all of the classes in game, whether it's sports or super or muscle or off-road. So it's going to be very interesting to see the dynamic of the vehicle classes, how they're changed. But obviously we won't know until the DLC itself comes out until proper testing can be done. I guess which car am I most hyped for? It definitely has to be that like racing supercar. So I'll put it on the screen right now, the one I'm talking about. It's that one that was shown in like that very first shot of the trailer. It's also the one that's featured on the artwork itself. It kind of reminds me of like a Mazda 787B racing car. So again, I think that's the one I'm most excited for. Let me know in the comment section down below which vehicle you're most excited for, though, in the comment section coming from the Cunning Stunts DLC. Our next question comes from GTA Superior, who tweets at me, "Do you think we'll be able to create our own races via the creator mode? Hashtag AskBoss." So this is actually a good question. A lot of people ask me this because Rockstar kind of made it unsure in the newswire and on the trailer. But yeah, we are going to be able to create our own races via the creator mode. I mean, I wouldn't see why we wouldn't be. It would seem like a waste for Rockstar to add all this content in the game and then only have Rockstar created content be the ones that we could actually use. I would also assume so because they mentioned new props in the first newswire, and they probably wouldn't mention props if they weren't going to be giving them to the creator. So I would have to say that all of the content from the stunt races will be added to the creator for any user to create their own races with. Any other, scenario where Rockstar limited us would really be disappointing because, again, this update should be all about creating amazing new content. And why would Rockstar limit the amazing creators that can build these incredible stunts and journeys and races? So I would definitely say that we're going to be able to create our own races in game. That guy Jones says, "Do you think Rockstar will add another garage, maybe with 20 car garage storage space this time? Hashtag AskBoss." So that would be very interesting if they added another car garage with that's either different or is a different shape. You guys know that hidden kind of cut content garage that I covered on my channel a few weeks and a few months ago that looked like it had 20 or 30 or 40 cars. Maybe that's something they'll add in this update. I would almost have to guarantee you, though, that they will be adding a new garage, 13 new vehicles, and no new space. Although if we don't get one, which is possible because they didn't do one with Finance and Felony, it'll be interesting. What cars am I going to clear out? I mean, I'm already completely out of space. So it'll be a very interesting journey nonetheless if Rockstar don't add a garage, and it'll be a much welcome addition if they do. Our next question comes from John Smith, who tweets at me, "Do you think Cunning Stunts will have hidden vehicles like Further Adventures in Finance and Felony? Hashtag AskBoss." So I believe John is talking about the vehicles that are released weekly via tunables, and I'm going to say yes, because this is something that Rockstar has done for the last two DLCs back to back. So if you go back all the way to Lowriders Customs Classics, they did that. If you go back to Further Adventures of Finance and Felony, they did that. So why would they do anything different here? And they've even had a pattern of doing that for vehicles that they don't release on a weekly basis in older DLCs. The Lowriders content had the Halloween cars. The Executives and Other Criminals DLC had the Christmas vehicle. So yeah, I can definitely see them adding some hidden vehicles and hidden content into the game. That would not surprise me at all. Our next question comes from Matthew Rogers, who tweets at me, "Do you believe we'll be able to purchase the car cars without liveries. So that is very interesting, Matthew, and I actually think we will be able to. This is a great tie into the next question, which I'll touch on in a little bit, but I would imagine these cars are going to be bought on websites stock, and then you'll have all the options to upgrade them, including liveries. I just find it likely that for the trailer, Rockstar wanted to make the cars as colorful and as upgraded as possible, so they put like all the livery options and customization options as they could. But I would certainly believe that we'll be able to purchase these cars without the liveries on them if you want a cleaner finish. Like I said, that's a great segue into our next question, which comes from Mr. Felony, who tweets at me, do you think that the 13 new cars that are coming are going to be customized at Benny's? #AskBoss. So yes, I do. Since it doesn't seem like we're getting a new mod shop, that was something that was asked a ton. Are we getting a new mod shop? Will there be a new customization shop? I don't think so. I think a feature like that would have been so big that Rockstar would have either been forced to answer it on their newswire or forced to have shown it on the trailer. So it would be a total and complete shock if we do get a brand new customization shop in the game. So because I think that's highly unlikely, I believe everything is going to be customized at Benny's. There's even a few hints on like the cars itself, like including the seats that can be seen on the inside, that do suggest that it will be customized at Benny's versus something like a new mod shop or the Los Santos custom shop. So yes, at the end of the day, I believe Benny's is going to be expanding his arsenal of vehicles that he can work on, and we'll be able to take some more vehicles inside of his shop, make them stunt, rally, and racing ready. That was a great question, though. I was asked that a ton. Benny's versus a new mod shop. That's definitely going to be a very interesting thing to see when the DLC actually does release. Our next question comes from Jeffrey Z, and I got asked this a lot. He says, #AskBoss, how much money will you need for Cunning Stunts DLC? So I made an official video on this, and I'll leave the link in the description because I don't want to hash over all the details. However, I will give you my final output and what I think. I think you're going to need at a minimum $7 to $8 to $10 million. At a more reasonable price, I'm going to say anywhere from $13 to $15 million if you want all the content. I've even seen some people say that it's going to take anywhere from $20 to $30 million. Now, I think that's a little high and a little outrageous, but it wouldn't surprise me with all the new vehicles and all the new customization that's going to be coming in this update, as well as the racing gear and whatever other accessories Rockstar decide to add. So I'm still going to stick with my prediction of anywhere from $10 to $15 million, although there have been some pretty pricey ones up there near the $20 and $30 million one. Our next question comes from Maybachs, who tweets at me, do you think there will be more cars which weren't shown in the trailer? #AskBoss. So I do believe there is going to be at least one or two new vehicles that was not shown off in the trailer. We know for a fact there's going to be 13, and I don't think all 13 were found in the trailer. So it will be interesting to see what car was hidden from us. Is it just going to be a different version of a vehicle we saw in the trailer, or is it going to be a totally new car? Is it going to be a supercar, sports car, off-road, muscle, sports classic? I have no clue, but I do think there's some stuff in the trailer that Rockstar didn't show us. It would be, I wouldn't say foolish, but they'd be spilling all the beans if they just gave us every single bit of content that was coming in the trailer. So I likely believe there's going to be some surprises and things we're just going to have to find out on day one when the DLC drops. So our next question comes from Navy Bear, who tweets me, will the new vehicles coming with the upcoming DLC release have their own racing category? So I don't think they are, because in screenshots we've been able to see, regular versions of vehicles racing with the new ones. So I think that all the vehicles you saw in the trailer are going to be placed in categories that already exist in the game. As much as we'd love for like a new rally or racing category or even a hypercar class, I think Rockstar knows that that would be a huge challenge for them to create a new car class. So I think they're just going to be adding these vehicles to the existing categories in the game. Like you mentioned, sports, super, off-road, muscle, whatever the vehicles are going to be. They might be like custom versions of those cars, kind of like how you have the Banshee 900R. It's like a custom supercar, how it wasn't originally one. So there's always something like that that could happen, but I do believe that they're going to be kept in the categories that already exist in the game. Our next question comes from Edward, who tweets me, what time will the DLC be released worldwide? #AskBoss. So I always get this question, and I am 99.99999% confident that the DLC is going to be released around 4 or 5 a.m. Eastern Time, which is around 1 or 2 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, which is somewhere around 10 or 11 a.m. in the UK. So again, you can do the other calculations based off of what time it's going to be in the world. But for me, which is on the East Coast of the United States, it's 4 to 5 in the morning. So do your calculations from there. That's typically when all DLCs are released. The only one that wasn't released at that time was the Heist update, but I think something went wrong there where it wasn't meant to be released at that time. So expect it around the normal, 4 or 5 a.m. Eastern time release schedule. Our next question comes from Villain Tyson, who tweets at me, will the Cunning Stunts DLC be the last big update for Grand Theft Auto Online in 2016? Hashtag AskBoss. All right, so he's kind of looking in the future there. And no, I don't think this will be the last big DLC in 2016. I think Rockstar will take a break after Cunning Stunts. I definitely think that it's going to be whether or not they add hidden vehicles into the game, which is certainly a possibility because that will extend how long they can feature the content. So like if they hide 3 vehicles into the game, that's 3 weeks in a row possibly that they could keep the Cunning Stunts content going. So I think that there's going to be a break after this update, but I certainly don't think it's the last big DLC for 2016. I think we've got 1 or 2 more of those under our belt, and I think there's going to be a lot of great content in the second half of the year. Our next question comes from Ralph, who tweets at me, hashtag AskBoss, do you think that Rockstar will create a stunting school similar to the one in the San Andreas Flight School update? So I think he's talking about the Cunning Stunts Academy, and Ralph, unfortunately, I think that was just what Rockstar based this DLC off of. The Cunning Stunts Academy, I think, is just a parody of crazy sporting people in real life, and Rockstar just decided to roll with it for a DLC. This, again, is one of those features that I think is big enough that they would have been forced to mention it on the newswire or in the trailer, and something they couldn't have left out. So unfortunately, I don't think we're going to be getting a stunting school. I think it's just something that was just based off of the trailer. Our next question today comes from Sniper, who tweets to me, do you think that the Maybachs Arena was the initial version of Cunning Stunts and it ended up being scrapped? Hashtag AskBoss. I do think you're right. I think that that interior Maybachs Arena might have been a part of the original Cunning Stunts DLC, and then Rockstar decided, that might not have the longevity or people might not like it, so they scrapped it. And that's not the first time we've obviously seen them do something like that. They scrapped the entire Heist update and then created the new one, which we have today. So I think that this is for the better. As much as we want that arena, I think from what we've seen so far, that Rockstar have done a great job. And obviously on Tuesday, when we get all the content, I think we're going to be very pleased with what they've had to offer. But nevertheless, I'm very excited. Even though we don't get the arena, still lots of cool stuff coming. All right, and our final question today comes from Nick Wells, who tweets to me, how do you think the new Supercars will compare overall to cars like the T20 and the X80, for example? Hashtag AskBoss. So this is interesting, and I kind of feel bad for people that were low on funds and just purchased like the X80 Proto and the Fister 811, because that's like $4 million that you may have just flushed down the drain, depending on how fast the new Supercars are going to be in this update. Once again, we are just going to have to wait and see and confirm when the DLC comes out, because there's obviously nothing we can do right now to test these cars, but lots of cool content is going to be coming. Will the Supercars be better? I think they'll be on point. I'm not exactly sure. It all depends on their price as well. There's a lot of different variables, Nick. Thank you so much for that question, though. And that is all the questions that we're going to be tackling in this week's Q&A, all revolving around the upcoming Cunning Stunts DLC. So I think this is going to be a great DLC. I think it's going to be an awesome update. I obviously want to hear from you guys in the comment section down below. Let me know your thoughts and opinions about the update as well. Are you hyped for it? Because I certainly am. If you did go on to enjoy this video, a like rating would, of course, be awesome, though. And also subscribe to my YouTube channel if you are new or you like daily GTA 5 videos like this. With all the way, guys, like I said, thanks for watching. Take care, and I'll see you guys in the next video.